This is Marlene of the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit the like, subscribe. We have real talk conversations 3 times a week, and usually about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always share it on my community tab. So, welcome to the chat family, whether you're live or you're watching in the replay. Today, as you all requested, today's requested podcast is talking about red flags. Now, let me just quickly define, red flags, what they are, even though we know what red flags are. But, basically, a red flag is a warning sign that points to a potential threat, either real or perceived. So it could be something that's happening and we're like, I don't like that. Or it could be something to where it's some threatening behavior or behaviors that we don't like. So I want to say, if anybody, I always say this, if you feel unsafe, if you feel afraid for your life, if you feel endangered, please do something about it. Every single one of us is valuable and we deserve to be respected. Got a mod in the house. Hi, Maria. Happy Thursday. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. So, we're going to talk today on 30 red flags we see in other people. Do you know some red flags? What are some of your red flags? Let me know in the comment section. So, the first one that I think is everybody's red flag, and that is a liar. A liar is someone that, automatically you can't trust them. And sometimes I think every single person lies about things, but I mean the ones that are, what do you call them? Pathological. The ones that you can't believe anything that they say. They lie about everything from the smallest detail to the biggest thing. They don't know what the truth is. They don't care to tell the truth. They lie because it's convenient. They lie because of whatever medical condition or imbalance they have. Hey, Miss Tamika, how are you doing? Welcome in, on deck. I truly appreciate you. But a lot of people, they don't know how to be their real and true self. They don't know who they are. And I do think that people who are pathological liars have some issues mentally and they can't stop. They can't stop. Hey, Miss 702, how are you doing? Good morning. There's a lot of people that don't know how to be honest. And that's the first of the red flags that I want to talk about. There's a lot of people that are liars, and not just liars, pathological liars. I think every single person from time to time fibs, they stretch the truth. They don't, tell all of the details of everything. But I'm talking about a person who's a pathological liar. This is a person that you can't believe one thing they say. They lie everything from what they ate for breakfast to big issues. They leave out details. This is not somebody that we can trust. And this is a big red flag that we have to pay attention on, especially in our relationships, in your romantic relationship, with your friends, with your relatives, and anybody. If you have people around you and they do not respect you enough to tell you the truth, you need to get them out of your life. You don't need to have these people in your life. If somebody feels like it's okay to lie to you on a consistent basis, they need to go. Those are the people that you got to release them and let them go. You can't have a person who likes to tell lies all the time in your life, because if somebody lies in a relationship with you, then they're going to lie about very big and important things, especially if it's somebody romantically and you're building a life together. You have children together. There's certain things that you have to be able to have trust with that person. And there's a lot of people that you cannot trust. And we have to be able to trust people in our life. And, I have to say that it takes a lot of courage for us to be honest with ourselves when we see the red flags and to not ignore them. And I know that as a woman, I've seen red flags in people, not just with friendships and on the job and all sorts of people, but I've seen red flags in people, but I didn't want to do anything about it. We sometimes we fear the repercussions, like if I tell them how I feel, then they'll stop talking to me. But we don't want that toxicity in our lives. Sometimes the main people who give us red flags are our relatives. I don't know about you all, but my relatives give a lot of red flags. They have a lot of toxic behavior, and we're going to talk about some more of them. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Tamika. Good morning, Miss 702. Good morning, Shonda. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope everybody's having an amazing Thursday so far. So now we're on to the second red flag of the 30. So, what are some red flags that you all have? The second one that I have is lack of consistency. And that is something that we should never tolerate. A person, would they say that they're going to do one thing, but they do another? You can't believe what they say. They're always making an excuse. They're never consistent with things. And especially, I have to say, you have to be consistent with a job. You have to be consistent in your relationships, and don't slack. Don't slack, everybody. Now, I know that that's something easier said than done because I've done it as well. I'm human, but I'm also an honest human being too. That it's time for us to say, you know what? What I was doing to get you is something that I'm going to continue. And a lot of people fail to be consistent in their romantic relationship. They complain about the situation, they complain about the person, but what are you doing? What are you giving in a romantic relationship? What are you giving in your friendship? What are you giving from, your relatives, your loved ones, the people you care about? What are you giving in a relationship? And a lot of people are always seeking for other people to give them something. And of course, we all want to gain something in a relationship, but also, are we giving as well? So I had to be honest with myself as a woman that sometimes I will want things from other people, but I'm not giving it. And a lot of people won't be honest with themselves, but I am. I'm honest with myself. Sometimes I will give, I won't give, but I'll want them to give that for to me. But if you have a really good person and they care about you, they'll check you on it. Like, what's up? You want me to do this for you, but you won't do that for me. So we have to do more than just talk about what we want. We have to be about it. We have to set the standard. Like I say all the time, love has to begin with us. We have to know ourselves. We have to love ourselves. We have to respect ourselves. So respect yourself enough to say, you know what? I deserve to treat myself well. And a lot of times when we talk about red flags in relationships or red flags that we see in other people, sometimes the red flags are highlighted because we haven't worked on our own self. We haven't worked on our own worth. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we want. We don't know how to be our own friend. We're very disrespectful to ourselves. And those are some of the things that I can say because I have not always treated myself the way that I should. Kind of expecting for other people to fill in the voids in my life, expecting for people to support me and love me and care about me. And I'm not doing that for myself. As mature people, we have to be mature enough to say, you know what? I have to love myself. You know what? I have to put on my own oxygen mask. I have to save and protect myself. I have to care about me. And until you make a choice to care about you, nobody else will do that for you. You have to make a choice to say, I love me. I'm my own friend. I respect myself. And we're going to talk about some of those other things in a little bit. Exactly, Maria. So here we are on the third red flag that we see in other people, and that is drama starters. Do you have people in your life that you know that show those red flags? They love to start drama, whether it's a friend, so all allegedly, because people will pretend that they're your friend. People will pretend that they love you. People pretend that they care about you, and actually they don't. There's people that we give them a label of a friend. We give them a label of a loved one, but they aren't. They don't care about you. They care nothing about you. And we have to realize the red flags, and we have to see them in people and call it out for what it is. Certain individuals are just dramatic because they like mess, they like negativity. And those are not people that I can keep in my life. You know, while I care about people, while I love people, while I try my best to be supportive of other people, I had to learn to support myself. Hey, realist, how are you doing? Good morning. Appreciate you being here. Happy Thursday. Shout out to my mods. Um, I have to say that, until you get to know who you are as a woman or as a man and get mature, I had to realize that people were always bringing drama to me because I liked the drama. I liked the mess. I was messy. But when I started to work on myself and love myself and know myself, I couldn't stand drama any longer. So when we're talking about people who produce these red flags, or the red flags that we see or they perceive, right? We have to honestly pay attention to all of the red flags so that we don't get involved in the mess. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. Hey, BMF, how are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your support. So, I do think that it's important. Now, let's move on to the next red flag. So, now we're on red flag number 4, jealousy. Do you know people that are jealous? Whether it's a relative, a friend, a coworker, other people in your life, people on social media. See, that's a big red flag. Hey, BMF, how are you? Welcome. That's a big red flag that we have to pay attention to in other people. If you see people and they are always jealous of other people, jealous of you specifically, you got to stay away from those individuals. I'm all right. I'm kind of tired. How are you? Yes, I'm doing okay. Every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. So let's get into talking about the red flags that we see in other people. The people who are jealous. What are some of the things that how we can see if people are jealous of you? When you are accomplishing something, like they kind of talk down or diminish the things that you do, or they always have something to say about you or other people. Oh, they think that they're better than somebody else. They think they're this, and nobody is thinking or saying that about themselves. What it is that when other people are accomplishing their goals, they're winning at life, and they're happy. Some people, because they don't know how to work on themselves, they don't know how to love themselves, they don't know how to get out there and have their own life and enjoy themselves, because they don't have enough courage to go out there and live, they become jealous of what another person has, the way another person looks, the relationships that they have. And I've always said that, to me, that is something weird and strange. Why are you jealous about another person when I'm my whole own person? But I already realized the reason why most people are jealous, because I was a very jealous woman. Well, I wasn't a woman then, I was a little girl, because I wasn't mature enough to see what it was. I would always look at other women and men, and always try to talk them down like, oh, they think they're something. And it was just nothing but the green eye monster. I was jealous of what they had, the way they looked, their relationships, their happiness, their peace of mind. And that's just honest. I'm just being honest in this moment, because I didn't know myself. I didn't love myself. I wasn't doing anything with my life, so I couldn't stand to see other people doing things and being happy and having the things that I want. instead of you trying to go for it and go and get those things that you want for yourself. If there's anything that you all want, you can have it, but you just got to put in the work. You just got to get disciplined, and most people do not know how to be disciplined. They want to look at other people and try to get them down, try to break their spirit, because they're either evil, they're jealous, they don't love themselves, they don't know how to be their own friend, or all of the above. So let's go on to the next red flag that we see in other people. So now we're on controlling behavior. Do you know some people in your life that have controlling behaviors? And most of the time, when we think about controlling behaviors, we think about a romantic relationship. But there's controlling behaviors in so many different relationships. You could have controlling parents, you could have controlling siblings, you could have controlling people in your workspace, your fellow employees, or it could be controlling, like people are on social media. They want to control what you talk about. They want to control, how much views you have and what you should do, what time you should go live, or how much videos you upload. People love to be controlling of others, and that is a major red flag. Everybody needs to be in their own lane and minding their own business. I always say I don't have time to even handle my own business, much less to worry about somebody else's. But a lot of people, they like to make other people unhappy. They like to bring other people down because that makes them feel good. You know, the people who like to step on other people so that they can elevate. And that's very low vibrational. The people who like to step on other people, use them as a doormat or use them for a purpose to do something for them, those are not people you need to stay in your life. Those are people you need to get rid of. Block them, stop going around them, don't talk to them, don't tell them your business. Yeah, red flag, red flag. When you see a person that is very controlling and wants to always, well, we're going to get into some more of those things. I'm not going to give the rest away because I got a lot more left. Okay. So red flags we see in other people. Now we're on number 6, infidelity. Now, how many do we know that will be in relationships? And I don't just mean romantic, I mean platonic as well. And they're always infidelity. They're always doing something grimy, cheating on you, trying to bring you down some type of way with negativity, talking about you behind your back, stabbing you in the back. There's no loyalty, there's no respect. So infidelity is a major red flag. If you are specifically in a romantic relationship and you have somebody and they're always cheating on you, they're never faithful, they're always talking about you in a negative light, and you see no progress, you see no growth in the relationship, that's a person that you need to not walk away, run. Okay. Hey Rachel, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Thursday. That's a person you need to run from. Okay. If they cannot be faithful to you, don't be around them. And I know that that's something easier said than done, because when you care about people and you love them, especially romantically, but that's toxic. If you have somebody and they don't respect you enough to just be with you, move on with your life. You deserve better. You deserve to have somebody that will be faithful to you, that will respect you. And not even to mention, there's lots of things that go. A person who's a cheater, that means you can't trust them. You don't know what they're going to do, much less all the STDs and all kinds of gross things that you can catch from people who just are out there doing whatever they want to. So, it's a part of respecting your body too. Don't allow people to do that to you, to treat you that way, and you deserve way better than that. So that's another red flag. If you have somebody and they cannot be loyal and faithful to you, they're always unfaithful, there's always infidelity in the relationship, move on, because they will never change. Now we're on Point number 7, red flags we see in other people. Anger issues. Do you know somebody who they're always angry? They have a problem. They're always losing their cool. They don't know how to be calm. They're always screaming, yelling, cussing people out. And guess what? They're blaming other people. They never accept responsibility or accountability for their actions. If you have somebody in your life and they have major anger problems, they need to work on themselves. They need to fix themselves, because a person that has anger issues, it usually always escalates. It starts off with an anger issue, then it turns into some other things that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But a person with an anger problem, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, whether it's a sibling, a parent, whoever in your life, even in the workplace, because there are people in the workplace that they don't know how to control themselves. They think that they can talk to you any type of way. They feel that they can, because they're upset about something, it gives them the warrant, the right to be able to yell because they're angry. And a person like that is a person who is immature, and they need to work on themselves. So if you see those red flags, if you see someone who has an anger problem, get away, because it's usually just the start. If a person has an anger problem, they usually have some other issues that they need to deal with, and you don't have to take it. So if you have somebody in your life and they have anger issues, they like to scream and yell and do all of those things, get away while you can. I'm always going to advocate for DV situations. I'm always going to tell people, if you feel unsafe in your home, if you feel scared for your life, if you feel unsafe, if you feel put down, disrespected, controlled, jealousy, all of those things, you don't have to stick around. I'm always going to link in the comment section a hotline where you can remain anonymous and you need some support, either mental health, or if you are actually in a DV situation, or just something that you just need to get away and be in a safe environment. I'm going to link that when this live stream is over. I want everybody, all of you chat family, to feel comfortable and safe wherever it is that you live. The next one is physical abuse. Now, we just finished talking about DV situations, but just like I was saying, a person who has an anger problem, a person who has anger issues, that is not a good thing. If somebody has anger issues, it usually goes to next, they want to put their hands on you. Now, a person who wants to put their hands on somebody, and it's not, we usually kind of always put that on the men, and I apologize in advance, because it's not just only men. We have to call out what it is. There are women and men that have a problem keeping their hands to themselves. If you are upset, if you're angry about something, keep your hands to yourself. Leave, walk away. If you find that somebody drives you crazy like that, don't be around them. Break up. But don't mess around with people who take you to that limit where you feel like you always have to lose your cool. Hi, Olivers. Good morning. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. So if you find that you have somebody in your life and they are physically abusive, and the physical abuse, it affects you in many, many other ways. It's not just the physical hitting you or the scarring, but it's what it does to you in many other aspects, which we're going to get into next. So next we're talking about, now we're on the 9th red flag. Now, I have to say trigger warning, because I know that this can be a very sensitive topic to some. So trigger warning. Another red flag is when you know somebody and they are a person who has an addiction to sexual abuse. Like, it could be the scumbags. That's what I call them, the scumbags that like to mess with little kids. It's also the ones that just can't keep it together. They have an issue that they are serial cheaters. They're always, they never can be satisfied enough sexually. And then they go to all sorts of people. We know who those people are, and people on the streets. They go to, these street walkers and all these type of individuals because they just can't get enough. They can't get satisfied enough. So anybody who gets into where they mentally can't be in a relationship, if they feel that they have to go to somebody on the street and pay for it, and they feel that it's okay to go and mess with little kids, if you feel like it's okay to just go and mess with those who are elderly, those who have cognitive issues. I've seen it working in healthcare. There's a lot of people and they don't have their mind all together. That's a major red flag. And if you see that in somebody, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's your parent, your sibling, a friend, a coworker, anybody, report sexual abuse. It takes years, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years before a person can ever feel safe one day to come forward and to say, I was sexually abused. Okay. And and my heart goes out to anybody who has ever been sexually abused. I'm not going to stay on this topic for too long, but I did definitely want to cover it and to let you all know that's a major red flag. If you know or you see things, please report it. Next, we're going to talk about verbal abuse. Now, this is one that a lot of people really don't think about it as being abusive, but people who like to always, with anger again, cuss people out, talk them down, call people every name in the book. When somebody always says with their words hurtful, mean things to you, always telling you you're no good, you're stupid, you're foolish, you never do anything right, that affects you mentally. That affects you when somebody is always verbally abusive, either screaming or putting you down. They put this fear into you. It gives you a complex to where you don't even want to sometimes take care of yourself, like you don't care about your physical health, like you start to decline, and it may affect a person, their physical weight, because I've seen that being in healthcare, that there are certain individuals, they gain a lot of weight. Maybe they're kind of they have this they're predisposed to put on weight, but because of the issues and always how they were treated, it affects a person mentally year after year, telling people that they're ugly, they're stupid, they're this, they don't do anything right. And that gives a person lots of issues and complexes, and they feel that they're not worthy of anything. So certain individuals, they eat their pain away. And to anybody who feels like every time they're eating away their pain. And the only reason why I can say this, I know from experience, coming from having an eating disorder, you're eating away, or in my case, not eating, away your pain. You feel, for me, not eating was like, I can't control the things that are happening in my environment, but I just feel so sad, so I'm just not going to eat, to where it gets to where I got used to being starving. I got used to not eating, and the same thing can happen. Every time you feel a sadness, instead of talking about what you're going through, sharing what you're dealing with, you take it internally and you stop eating or you overeat. So that's a major problem. So to anybody, if you feel like you're eating, you're overeating, or you're under eating, and you don't know how to control it, you don't have to deal with it alone. I'm talking from somebody with experience. I experienced it. The only way I was able to deal with my eating disorder was by getting help from a therapist, a psychiatrist, and being in a support group. I will say that sometimes when you have those sort of issues like an eating disorder, or you've been verbally abused for a long time, you don't have any self-esteem. Now, I'm not here to to judge anybody, to talk about anybody, to make anybody feel inferior. But sometimes the things that happen to us in our childhood can affect us for many years in our adulthood. And for me, I thought because I had moved past that and I was an adult, that it didn't affect me anymore. I was like, that's over. So, what are you talking about? But it's not true. If you don't deal with the situations, the things that happened to you when you were younger, it will follow you when you get older. It will follow you on your job. It will follow you in every relationship that you get into, whether it's a friendship or whether it's romantic. If you don't resolve the issues you had when you were a child from your inner child, you will have issues in your adulthood and it will follow you your whole life. You won't even know that's the reason why you're angry. You won't even know that's the reason why you eat what you eat. Um, Hello, what do you think of people with antisocial personality disorder? What do I think of them? I think it's a real issue. And I think that a lot of people can have that antisocial disorder because number one, they feel unsafe in their home. They don't feel supported and encouraged. So it starts off with them just isolating themselves and being an introvert. And then it gets out of control to where they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't go out anymore. And those are the individuals that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a counselor. And I will always advise you to talk to somebody if you feel that you can't socialize with people, if it gives you anxiety. Yeah, please go and talk to a doctor, a therapist, and get the help that you need. I do these conversations because I do think that it's important that as an adult, we all have issues. Every single person, if we're going to be honest, every single person has some sort of issue. But a lot of people want to sugarcoat it or hide it like they don't have problems. I know I've had problems, but I was woman enough to say, you know what? I need to work on me. I need to fix me so that I'm not angry. I'm not jealous. I don't have any issues with food. I don't feel some type of way because if another person doesn't like me or doesn't support me, like how do I troubleshoot that through those issues? So I'm grateful for the time I spent in therapy. I'm grateful for the people that I met. And I'm grateful that now that I can use the things that I've learned to talk about it and to tell anybody if you feel unsafe, if you feel sad, if you feel discouraged, if you feel that you can't control your food, you can't control how you think about yourself, if you are suffering with low self esteem or depression, you don't have to hide it. It's okay. Talk to somebody so that you can feel better. This is a safe space. I'm not talking about anybody. I know this is a safe space for us to be able to talk about a really important topic. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Ex- you are right now. Explain how I am, but I have no anxiety, or at least I don't notice. I don't have many emotions. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen, but make sure that you talk to somebody. Like I always say, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a counselor, going for my life coaching. But I definitely want to say that it's very important for us if we feel that we need help. Don't tell people who aren't going to support us, like telling people who are toxic, telling people who don't care about us, telling people who don't love us. That's a waste of our time and it's just going to get us angry and even withdraw from wanting to work on ourselves. So if you feel that you need support mentally, emotionally, maybe you may even sometimes it goes to the extent where we have to take some medication so that we can be okay coping with our life. We have to do what works for us, okay? So I hope that you get the help that you need. Next up, in the 30 red flags that we see in other people, we're on emotionally abusive, okay? If you have been emotionally abused, or if you are an emotional abuser, because it can go on both sides, pay attention to those red flags, okay? I talk to one person. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes I'm high functioning and I'm on medication. So, yeah. Yes, I hope you get the help that you need. Realist says more people than we know can relate. Yes, realist. Yes, yes, yes. I know a lot of people are affected by red flags. So let's go on to another red flag is somebody who's very secretive. Now, don't get me wrong. It's one thing to walk in silence and not tell people everything that you have going on. But I mean the people that they're your friends, they're the people you care about, they're the people you love, and they're just secretive about everything. That's something that's very weird, okay? They keep a lot of secrets, they don't talk about anything. That's a red flag. Pay attention because you never know. Like, could that secret be that this person could be a sociopath? Could the secret be they're a narcissist? Could that person be a serial, a serial healer? I'm not going to say the word. When people keep a lot of secrets, I always wonder, what are they hiding? Are they hiding that they don't feel comfortable in their skin, or they need to come out of the closet, or they're trying to hide something. I know for many many years I always was trying to hide my years and years of abuse, my years and years of um, just the traumas and this dysfunction and hatred and jealousy and the self harming habits that I had. So, yeah, I'm secretive, but that's because I don't have much to tell. And if I do, I scare people away. Yeah, that's why it's important. I always say, make sure that you're telling the right people, not just telling everybody. You can't tell everybody everything because you can't trust everybody. People will take the real issues that you have, things that are close to your heart that you have endured, and they'll run with it. They'll smear your name and their reputation. People will laugh at you at your expense, and that's a no. No, no, no. Next up is another red flag is love bombing. Now we know about love bombing, don't we? And that's a very big red flag that I've seen in so many people. Where do you even start with this one? It's somebody who they're they have a lot of issues. And what they do is they like to drop the word I love you to get to use you like a little puppet on a string. I love you so that you can do this or that for me. That's love bombing. So we have to be careful of the people who are like that. We do. We have to be careful of the people who say they love you with conditions. It's conditional loving. There should not be conditions on love. People should love you just because of who you are, not because of what you do. And that's a classic thing that I had to learn in overcoming years of trauma, years of being abused and taken advantage of. I always felt that I had to do certain things for individuals, or they would say, "You don't love me if you won't do this for me." That's a measure of control. That's a measure of jealousy. That's a measure of so many things wrapped up into one. And if you have people in your life that they only love you when you can do things, when you can do things for them, and when you can't do things for them, they don't love you anymore. So that's something to pay attention. Major red flag. If people only love you when you can do something for them, or when you can give them your money, or you can give them your time, that's the time where you have to, you know, make sure that you pay attention. All right? Pay attention. Pay attention and pay attention. If somebody is love bombing you, especially in the age of people online dating or all of those things. Be careful about the people who say they love you just to take advantage of you. Oh, you are by a narcissist mother. Well, I hope that you get the help that you need, because I know that there's many people that have been abused by a relative, by a spouse, a significant other, a friend, quote unquote. So, please talk to somebody and get the help that you need. Next up is a person who's a people pleaser. People pleasing, that's a major red flag. And I've seen a lot of people that I can say that I definitely was a people pleaser. And I thought that that just meant that I loved people. Thank you so much, Sirius, for dropping my links. I really appreciate it. A major red flag that we have to pay attention to is somebody who always feels that they have to please people. If you have people in your life, and if you feel that if I don't do this and this and this for you, then you don't care about me, then you'll talk about me, you'll spread my business. That's so toxic. That's so toxic. That's low vibrational. That's a person who's wasting your time, your energy, and yeah, all of those things. Yeah, I hope so too, realist. Yeah, I don't know the name either. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. I don't know what your name is, but I hope that you get the help that you need and get the support, because you deserve to get your support. So another thing that I think is so important to talk about is people who are workaholics. I almost said something else. You can call me Green. Okay. Thank you, Green. Have a nice day. So one thing that I think is important to talk about is a person who's a workaholic. That's a big red flag. A major, major red flag is a person who is a workaholic. Now, we all know people, yes, it's important. There's bills, there's responsibilities. People have to make a living. But if all a person ever wants to do is work and they never want to have some fun, go out, if all the person does is work and they go home, work and they go home, that's unbalanced, okay? That's unbalanced. And how I know is because I did that for many years. I would work, I just go home. I didn't have friends, I didn't go out, I didn't do the things that I needed to do. So I was not balanced, and that's a red flag. And we have to have enough courage to say, you know what? I need to do something about it. I need to change that because that's toxic. And if we see people in our life, it could be your spouse, significant other, it could be a friend, it could be somebody you work with, another employee. It could be some people that you know on social media that you know of. We know people, we see them on social media, but we don't really know what people are going through. So that's very toxic. A person who all they do is work all the time. And what I've seen many times working in social work is people that work all the time and then they have people at home that just take advantage of them. Like they have their kids, spouse, significant other, and they're all in the house, and only one person works, and the other one is just basically lays around. They're lazy, dirtying up the place. They don't clean, they don't cook, they don't do anything. And that's a red flag. If you have people like that, I don't care if it's your children, I don't care if it's your spouse, you cannot stay around somebody who is using you and taking advantage of you. You deserve better than that. So now we're going to, this one is one of my major red flags that I can't deal with, is a person who likes to compare everyone to others. They're always comparing everybody to their ex. They're comparing everybody to this person or that person, depending on the relationship. So if you're in a romantic relationship with somebody and they're always talking about their ex, for me, somebody who's always talking about their ex means that they still love their ex. They don't want to be in a relationship with you. That's a red flag. Thank you so much for coming back, Rachel. That's somebody who does not want to be in a relationship with you. That's somebody that wants to be with them. And for some sort of reason, they messed up or whatever. They want them back. Send them back. If somebody only talks about their ex all the time, it's an indicator they want to be with their ex. They're not interested in a relationship with you. That's a major red flag. If somebody's always talking about my ex did this and my ex did that, my ex did this, my ex did that, they're in love with their ex, okay? Now let's go on to the next one. This is another red flag. Avoidance of serious emotional connection. So if you know somebody, you've been, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic, but it's somebody who never can show their emotions. That's a red flag. It's a major red flag. So, I'm not saying everybody has to be like, I love you all day long, because that would be weird. But if somebody can never talk about how they feel, how you make them feel, how important you are to them, stay away from them. Because that's something weird going on with that individual. If someone cannot express how they feel about you, if they can't talk about their emotions, and there's like no emotional connection, yeah, that's a red flag. Pay attention to that. On to number 18. This is a major one, and like I said, trigger warning. This is a major red flag, is someone who has a substance abuse, okay? They have some sort of addiction, and we know that there's many sorts of addictions. It could be an addiction to pills. It could be addiction to alcohol. It could be a sexual addiction. It could be an addiction to, even, what do they call those things that are not edible? Like, people have an addiction to eating. I've seen some weird things, eating toilet paper, eating things that are not real food. Like, people have certain issues, or people that I know that like to drink mouthwash, or a thing called huffing, where they sniff like air freshener or things up their nose. Yeah. So, yeah, people have certain addictions, and of course, the ones that we know of: addiction to food, um, addiction to substances. There's so many things that people can be addicted to. Even people can be addicted to TV. People could be addicted to social media. There's a lot of things that people can be unbalanced, and they need to get some help. So, yeah, that's another one. Just an addiction, period. People who have addictions, that's a major red flag, and it's not up to you to fix them. It's not up to you to change them. And please, everybody, you cannot change somebody. If you know somebody has a problem, you cannot change them. And I'm speaking from experience, being in a relationship, thinking, if I'm kinder to them, if I tell them I love them, if I'm supportive of them, a person has to want, as an adult, to do the right thing. A person has to want to support you. A person has to love themselves first before they can love you and care about you. Okay? Thank you so much, Sirius. Yeah, a person has to want to do something about that addiction to whatever it is that they have an addiction to. So you can't change them. I know many of us feel like in a relationship where we care about them and we love them, they'll change. I can change them. They haven't been introduced to my kind of love and all kinds of things, that we have these ideas and notions in our head that my love will be stronger than their addiction. And they need to get real help, like going to a clinic and getting doctors, psychologists, detoxing, all of those things. That it's not for us. We have to leave those things to the professionals. And if there's anybody who needs some help with an addiction, please reach out to your local therapist, psychologist, all of those, so that you can get the help that you need. Everybody deserves to have a great life. And I know that there's real things out there that people get into addiction, even an addiction to pain reliever, because sometimes it starts off something simple. They get into an accident, they have some pain in their body, and then they have to take pain pills to cope, and then next thing they're addicted to these pills. So if you or somebody you know has a sort of addiction, please get the help you need. Number 19, a red flag is bad communication. It could be a person who likes to interrupt. That's a trigger for me. Like every time you talk, they always have to interrupt you every other word you say, or they have to try to fix, or they try to control the situation. Also, bad communication can come in as a lack of communication. When they get upset about something, they stop talking, they shut down, they ignore you, or they want to control what you say. Okay? Hey Angela, how are you? Welcome. They want to control what you say, they want to control what you talk about, all of those things. So bad communication is a red flag. You don't deserve anybody to ghost you. You don't need anybody to control what you talk about, how you talk, interrupt you, acting jealous, want to control who you talk to, and all of those things. Poor communication is not good. Every healthy relationship involves communication, whether it's friendship, whether it's romantic, whether it's on a job, whether it's anything. All relationships need good communication. And if you have somebody who withdraws communication from you as a way of controlling you or making you feel bad or whatever, red flag, stay away. Okay? And this brings me into the next point. Point number 20. A red flag is a person who's manipulative. Okay? Manipulative. If you know somebody and they always want to manipulate you in every situation, telling you how to think, how to feel, where to go, or if you say something and they don't like that, they want you to think how they think, or an argument starts, or they're angry and is shouting. Next thing, they're putting their hands on you. So a person who likes to manipulate other people can never stay in our life for a long period of time. We have to get away from them. A manipulator, it will never work, okay? Number 21, a red flag that we see in other people. Friendship or a relationship is one-sided. So if you know somebody and everything is always you putting in all the work, you're the one doing the calls, you're the one being romantic, you're the one doing everything, you're the one that always has to reach out and talk to them, you're the one that always has to everything. One-sided, that's toxic. That's a red flag. Pay attention. And it doesn't matter if it's your blood relative, it doesn't matter who it is. Nobody deserves to always be the one to always have to reach out, always have to be the one to be supportive, but never being supported. So pay attention and know that you deserve better than that. Point 22. A red flag that we see in other people is you walk on eggshells around them. So those are the people that you don't feel comfortable. You always feel like you're about to step on a bomb every time they're around. You can't say anything to them. That is a person that you have to, pay attention to, okay? Pay attention to that. If you see that a person is always trying to, you don't know when they're gonna blow up. Good morning, puzzle pieces. How are you doing? Welcome in. You never know with this person how to feel, right? You never know how to feel. You never know what to say around them, because everything that you say to them, right? Every single thing you say to this person, a person that you have to walk on eggshells around, be careful. Anybody, you have to walk on eggshells if you don't feel comfortable that you can say what you want to say. If you don't feel like you can go anywhere or dress a certain way or talk about certain things, that is something that is a major red flag, and we have to pay attention to. We don't have to take it, okay? You know, it's about self awareness. That's why I do these topics. It's about self awareness, self respect. You don't have to be manipulated, you don't have to be used. And don't think that because people are your relative, are your friends, are your family, that, oh, and we just say that's how they are. But just because they're that way doesn't mean that it's good. Even our relatives, even the people that we do love, we need to take a break from them to let them know your behavior is not acceptable. The way you're treating me is not acceptable. The way you're talking to, the way you're not supporting me, the way you're doing all of these things, it's not good. And if we don't have enough courage to speak up and to say, you're being disrespectful, you're being unkind, you're being manipulative, you're being very controlling, you're being jealous. If we don't have enough courage to tell people, no, this is what you're doing and that's wrong and I don't have to take it, it will continue. And you will continue to put up with things until you say enough is enough. And when you have enough, that will be the end of it. Okay? So let's go to point number 23 of this 30 red flags we see in other people. Number 23, they tell or share things about others that's confidential. So these are people that no matter what, they always want to, they can't hold water. They can't keep anything in. Thank you so much, Sirius. I appreciate that. They can't keep anything in. As my mom would say, they can't hold water. Everything that they hear or they find out something, they have to run and tell other people. They have to broadcast it. They're like a news reporter. Though that's a very toxic behavior. That's a red flag that we have to pay attention to. If you can't have people in your life and if you tell them something and they can't keep it to themselves and everything you tell them, you hear it back, that's not a person that you can trust. That's a person that you have to leave those people alone. If you have people in your life and they always tell your personal business or other people's business, that's not a person that you should keep in your life. Let's move on to the next point. Number 24, you feel drained after interactions with them. Do you know some people that every time you go around them, you feel tired? I have had many people that I have been around that every time after I deal with them, I want to just go to sleep, or I get a headache, I get a migraine, or sometimes even you'll want to cry because they're always saying something rude, discouraging, or they always bring some sort of jealousy, negativity. They make you feel bad about yourself. Well, we're going to get into that in the next point, but you feel drained after your interactions with them. So it's not good interactions. They talk to you any type of way. They're disrespectful. They always want to take and take and take and take, and they never give anything to you. That's a red flag. Red flags, everybody. Let's pay attention to them. Now, point number 25, you can't be yourself around them. I think that's worse than all of the red flags. If you can't be the woman or the man you are in your skin, if you feel like you can't smile, you can't be happy, you can't be yourself, you can't do the things that you want to do without somebody bringing you down, if you can't be your real authentic self, like no facade, no fakeness, no character, no having to put on a mask, you don't have to fake it. Like if you're feeling down that day, you should be able to tell people that you really care about. I'm not really feeling it today. You don't have to put on a plastic smile, be phony, be fake. That you can just be yourself. And if you can't just be yourself around individuals, lose them, get them out your life, subtract them, block them, all of those things. So this is really a pet peeve of mine, and this is number 26, someone who is belittling of you or others, someone who always puts people down. They make fun of people at their expense. So basically, they talk about one person so that they can elevate themselves. They'll make fun of a person so that they can feel good about themselves. And I cannot stand it. Boils my blood when people like to belittle other people, talk about their situation, their finances, their this and their that. And most of the time, people who like to talk about somebody else, they don't even have their life together. They usually, their money situation is not right. This isn't right. That's not right. So many things are not right about them. So, you know, if a person feels that they have to belittle another person to get a laugh, or what they love to do, a backhanded compliment, it sounds like it's good, but actually it's something to make fun of you. So don't keep those people around in your life. Nobody deserves to be disrespected like that. Yes, realist, no faking. No faking, no mask, no drama, no foolishness. Don't have time for it. Too grown. We're too grown for that. So here we are on point number 27. This is a big one, everybody. They don't respect boundaries. No matter what you say to them, you can tell them, please don't call me at this time. Please don't do this. Please don't. Like, you're telling them what you don't like, but yet they still do what they want to. That is a person that does not respect you. And we can't make people respect us. We put our boundaries out there. We ask for people to do this, this, and this, or, tell people what we like, what we don't like, but they move right past those boundaries and do whatever they want to do. And if somebody cannot respect your boundaries, that's a red flag. Leave them alone, respect yourself, and move on to other people who will. Sometimes we stick around and stay in relationships, either romantic, platonic, it could be a friendship, it could be a sibling or a relative, it could be your children's significant other, it could be anybody, and they don't respect you, you know? They don't, because they don't respect themselves. And until somebody learns to respect themselves, they're not going to respect you. Okay, we're on point number 29. We got one more left, everybody. Point 29, they don't have any friends. That's a red flag. Now, I'm not saying that people, you have to have like 15, 30, 100 friends, nothing like that. But I mean a person who has no friends. You don't even have one friend. That's weird. That's a red flag. Now, I don't mean just have a whole bunch of people in your life that are toxic, that are users, just to say you have a friend. No, I mean everybody should have at least one friend. And if that person doesn't even have one friend, something is wrong. There's something wrong with that. And we are here at the last point of these 30 flags that we see in other people. Point number 30. All of their exes are crazy. Do you know somebody who fits that red flag? Okay. Real says, don't talk about me like that. Point number 30. All their exes are crazy. Okay. Now we know, I think everybody has had a weird or a crazy ex, but everybody, all of the exes are crazy? If people are always blaming, everybody is always crazy, but they never assume any responsibility and say, I did this, I did this, I did this in the relationship. Accountability, maturity, responsibility for your actions. If it's always everybody else was crazy, everybody else wronged me, everybody else, I'm such a good person and they're not, that's a red flag. That's a person that they need to do some work on their inside and do some healing and all of those things. So this has been 30 flags, that 30 red flags that we see in other people. I I think tomorrow I'm going to talk about another one of the flags because I didn't realize when I was doing my research for this, I found out that there's not just red flags, even though we talk about red flags, but I'm going to talk about another type of flag. So stay tuned for tomorrow's podcast at I think I'm going to do 9:45 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because I have an appointment to go to tomorrow. So we're going to go just a little bit earlier. So I appreciate, shout out to all my mods. Shout out to everybody who came through and supported this podcast and discussion. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that something that I said in this discussion is something that you can think about and you can, ask yourself, am I being used? Am I being taken advantage of? Am I being manipulated? And if you see anybody that is exhibiting any of these bad habits, behaviors, being toxic, jealous, you know, being abusive, any form of abuse, know that you deserve more than that. And to anybody who needs some help, if you feel unsafe in your home, if you are being physically assaulted, please, please get some help. Please get some help. Please talk to somebody because I care about my chat family. I care about each and every one of you. Please care about yourself. Oh, thank you so much. Serious. I'm going to check it right now. Thank you so much, Serious. I wish I could play a song. I wish I had the panda on YouTube, but I can't play the panda. But I'll owe you one. I'll play the panda when I go on my when I do the members only. I'll play you the panda then on Monday, just for you, Serious. Thank you so much. Thank you, Angela. Shout out to all of my mods. Shout out to my chat replay. I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you all back on tomorrow. Tomorrow. You've tuned into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit the like, subscribe to this channel, turn on your notifications, and you tuned into real talk, real conversations with the Marlene Saunders Show. I'll see you all back tomorrow, 9:45 a.m., where we'll be talking about another one of the flags. Which one will it be? Tune in and find out. Bye, guys. Everybody have a great rest of your day. And in the comment section, leave me a comment. Yes, everyone, have a great day. See you guys back tomorrow. Happy Thursday. Have a great rest of your day. Shout out to my mods. Check out my mods in blue.